Oh no.
Not that source, apparently.
Hey.
Do we exist? Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Very late welcome again to the Mist, where a bunch of us pals get together and play some D&D. We're so glad you're joining us tonight. If this is your first time watching the Mist, welcome. Please follow Games Tavern on Twitch. It's free. It supports the show, the cast, and the crew. I did that like a airline. Remember, you can watch us live on Twitch, and all shows are uploaded to YouTube typically 48 hours later, so you can catch up on all the shows you may have missed. We're going to get rolling shortly, but first, some announcements.
Yes. If you are watching, if you have an Amazon Prime account, did you know you have a free Prime Gaming subscription? I did not know that till recently myself. If you're a Prime Gaming subscriber, you support everyone on the show. You get access to sub-only emotes and your special subscriber-only channel. There's one of those on the Games Tavern Discord, which is a lot of fun to play around in. So go ahead and use that free Prime Gaming subscription on the Games Tavern if you like.
And tonight, make sure to cheer on your favorite character when they do something awesome. Your bits and cheers show your support for the characters, and we love you, our friends, for your support. Your subs help to support the Games Tavern production quality, upgrade so that we can make better shows for you.
And we want to give a great big shout out and thank you to D&D Beyond. We love them so much. Actually, just before the show, I was using D&D Beyond to upgrade my character level to level 4. Thanks again to D&D Beyond for all of the amazing things that they do.
We also want to give a big shout out to Shard Tabletop for their VTT, or virtual tabletop for those not in the know. It makes it playing 5e easier in person, or in our case, virtually. Shard has an amazing classic and reimagined selection of races, classes, and spells to choose from. And to make this announcement even better, just go to the Shard Tabletop link in the chat and use the promo code TGT Shard 20 to save 20% on all subs.
All right. Why don't you fine people tell me who you are?
I'll talk again. Hi, I'm Daryl Dorsey, and I play your Goliath fighter, Brigand Stonebilt.
Hi friends, I'm Jess and I play your Tiefling Druid, Bronlin.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and tonight I'll be Salem Klein, your human resident rogue.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'll be playing the human Twilight cleric, Kura.
And I am Matt Fellman. I'll be playing the good doctor, the elven artificer alchemist.
And I am Bran. I will be your DM this evening. Now, who wants to set the stage? Where were we last?
Well, I believe I got some notes on our last session. I'll take the wheel there. Upon our departure from the Devil's Lair, my party and I found ourselves basking in the sun, the sea air crisp on our necks. Aboard a nameless ship, we found ourselves in the company of a crew of skeleton sailors. Each addressed us as the captain of the vessel. As we got our bearings, it seemed Brigane fell right into step with the workings of the ship, and after receiving a map showing a handful of islands, ventured below decks with Bronlin and their ward. The vessel seemed to be in fine shape, and in the ammunition cache, Brigane had an idea. Brigane told the child that she could help them by being a powder monkey. I got his logic, but few of us seem to have agreed with the follow-through. Back up on deck, I climbed atop the crow's nest to keep an eye out and spy as the doctor, playing with his bird, and Cora looking a little bit haggard. Brigane returned and took up to the helm to pilot us to the nearest landmass. The doctor suggested a name which was dismissed out of hand before setting up shop in the galley to do whatever it is that he does. I swung down to Cora and decided to have a little chat. we compared our markings, and Kerr did offer to speak more on the subject a bit later. Regan and I discussed our predicament as Bronlin did their best to keep up with their kin. As we approached the isle, we were beset by the most enchanting songs. Regain recognized that the danger that we had at hand and then steered us away as I gathered the party back up deck. At that point, we had a flock of enemies start bearing down on us. Regain manned a cannon, mounted on the aft, and we all took our ready-in positions. As the Harpies descended, Regain plucked one out of the sky and handily reloaded with the help of Casimir. The battle was swift, and the party entranced a few times, but in the end, we ended the Harpies, and they were no match for our prowess. As we sailed towards our next hope of respite, I couldn't help but feel emboldened, as the alpha of that flock of predators watched our fight and lingered for a moment before staring us down and returning to their roost.
Very nice. Well, crew, what do you intend to do?
I'll be in my bunk.
Okay, so not my finest decision making going to the closest place, but I feel like everyone caught my meaning where we just needed to get our bearings, right?
I
course.
did.
Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps the next isle, what was it, Calliope's Regret?
Yes.
And so I'm going to weight the anchor so that we can rein that in. And essentially at that, if Regain doesn't take the helm back up, I'm going to head back up there so I can set our bearing.
I look around and try to make eye contact with someone and just say, right, I hope we don't regret going to Calliope's Regret then.
Boo!
Shame.
How could we with a name like that?
I mean, the ruse was pretty straightforward. It was a bunch of bad people. So maybe this is just one person that's like really sad, and then the rest of it's just fine. Oh, it's not. Every place we've been has kind of been horrible now, so I'm just kind of rolling with that.
We'll
To be
find
fair,
out.
Starfall
Oh, what
was.
the heck? I thought you went down to your room.
I came back up. I just wanted to make sure. Starfall was fine before we showed up.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really fine though. That big giant fella, he wasn't having a very good time, and
Oh,
you know
okay.
what his
Ixnay-
suffering.
Ixnay on the giant scale.
Sorry about that, mate. On the very large celestial being, it didn't seem like he was having a very good time.
Okay, you did not get what's okay.
If I can catch Bronlin's gaze, I will look pointedly towards Kura.
I look over, kind of purse my lips in an awkward way. Just kind of walk away from that. And just kind of look out at the sea.
Oh, look, a whale.
If I remember rightly, during the fight, Bergain almost put a hole through the deck. Yes?
Correct. No, almost about that.
Is it an actual hole?
You can definitely see that the timbers are splinting and definitely caving in a few.
How big is the area of damage?
I'd say about a 2 foot diameter, 2 foot around. It's, you know.
Okay, we should probably get the. I just call.
I mean, it is separate planks of wood.
Hmm.
I call for the shipwright.
No, I have an idea, and I kind of urge Regain off to the side a bit, and I kneel down to the broken planks, and I touch my amulet a bit, and I trace a rune on the wood and put my hand against it, and I cast Mending. And I'll do that to one plank at a time until it's fixed.
Sure enough, as you work, the wood just sort of bends back into its proper position place, and you cannot spot anywhere where any damage had ever happened to it.
Wow. You're mighty handy.
I try.
You want to be the shipwright?
For little things, why not?
Okay. Make it so.
I
About how far away are we from Calliope's regret, would you say?
I think. I think I would have to roll for that, wouldn't
I wish you would.
I? What would you say that would be?
What did we decide on your knowledge
Ship navigator tools?
I was gonna say, do you have?
I am proficient. Yes, I have navigator tools because I've been drawing maps as well. Yes. Navigator tools. So I believe it was survival.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
So would it be my survival plus my proficiency with navigator tools added?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
I will rule cool with this one.
okay, cool. I was just that. That 19 for a total of that 24.
You definitely have a good grasp on now that there's not a bunch of harpies attacking and you've gotten your bearings back. You glance up and you look to the sails and you get a good read of the wind and the direction, and glance at the map. Within moments, you've come to a conclusion. Better part of 2.5 to 3 hours, you should be making pretty close to that island, if not onto.
It would be somewhere around 2.5, maybe 3 hours. If the way the wind is blowing at the moment.
It's not
Right.
too bad.
If anyone wishes to rest at this time, or at the head.
I think I'll work on a meal for us so we can have good something to eat before we leave.
But it's not going to include any milk now, is it, Doctor?
No, but I saw some potatoes down
Who does anyone want to help him so it's not just him?
I'll go.
there. That's fair.
I'll have the quartermaster take over the helm and give him the heading if Salem is amenable to that. I was not sure if you wanted to take over the helm or not.
I can manage just fine. I myself already ate. And I'm pulling out another piece of dried meat. And,
I also want to point out, amenable, big word.
you did just grand.
Okay, don't do that. That was a moment for me.
I'm just here piloting the ship. Don't mind me.
The crew of skeletons.
I grumble and I just walk down the stairs.
The crew of the skeletons have begun to start cleaning the ship. A lot of checking the cannons and polishing off and cleaning away the blast markings on, and sort of rolling the cannonballs back into a more easy form to gather. They've just kind of busy themselves around without any direction.
if before they clean up any of the bodies, I take a few of the hobby feathers. And then
Yeah.
before the night, at some point I give them to the doctor. I figure this is something like
They are, in all honesty, very lovely. It goes from a dark blue up to almost a seafoam green towards the quill.
almost makes you think. I'll try to do my best. The faces. Damn. And then I just start fluffing the lemon like a turkey.
Once-
I
Oh, go ahead.
I call Casimir over to me, and I kind of squat down to her and say, right, if you can manage to get your hands on one of the skeleton bones without them noticing before we dock at the island, I'll teach you some cool tricks, some cool magic.
Is this above deck? or
Leaning
below
close
decks?
to you. She looks over the skeleton. Take their bone from them.
Just a bone, just one. Could be a toe bone, finger, or if you just find any bone, just, think of it as a treasure hunt.
She instantly leaps away from you and just goes into a sprint towards towards the bosun who is checking the rigging.
And I yell out, remember, I said, without them noticing.
She probably doesn't even hear. She just charges and extends out her reaches, trying to grab a leg bone.
What the hell, Jess?
And it does not move in a fragile sense. She sort of clutches and sort of slams face first into what seemed to be a solid leg of an adult. And she just kind of topples back down onto her back and lies there for a moment.
Fully concussed.
She's got horns. I'm sure there's at least some protection.
Yeah. Something's got to keep her preoccupied.
This
With
happened
that,
before- Sorry, go
Oh.
ahead.
I was just going to say with that, I kind of wander over to Brigane or Salem, whoever's nearest to me.
Probably Brigane, as he's the one that moved down
Yes,
towards
I'm-
where the harpies were.
Yes, I'm moving down, so you probably will pass me. Yes.
I'm just looking at the ship. Just kind of biding time.
I cannot remember. Was it you that said you have not been on a ship before?
I mean, I've been on sailboats, but not on like a ship.
Oh, this is not a ship. This is.
This is small to you.
Yes. This is considered a smaller ship. Yes.
What kind of ships have you been on, mate?
Bigger ones. I served on a brig. No, I served on a brig. Excuse me. I served on a brig.
Right,
It
I
is-
mean,
This doesn't. I might as well be speaking giant to you. This is a ship that was more built for speed. Like it has its defenses, but speed was what they had in mind.
well, isn't that lucky that we ended up on this ship?
I mean, that's also why you don't see a larger crew. The ship that I once was the first ship that I ever served on had about 22 people able to work on it and sleep just fine.
You were the captain on that ship too?
No,
No?
no.
Right.
But I am the captain now.
Okay. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, down below, walk into the galley and look around. And when I walk in, Korvax flies from where he was roosted over to my shoulder. Right. Let's Kira, let's get cooking, as it were.
Right? You said you found potatoes or something?
No, I think they're potatoes. They've been there a while. Good thing potatoes last a while in the
Let's
darkness.
have a look.
Walk over and open up a big sack.
They seem pretty fresh.
Is there anything other than potatoes?
I'm gonna say, if you're so inclined, you would also find a crate of onions as well. They have a pretty long lifespan, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of interest. It looks like these simple things were gathered up last time at dock, and probably haven't been touched.
And up on deck, are there any fishing or whaling implements, like on the main deck?
There are the fishing implements. You do have nets available too.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to say I used that before they went downstairs.
Gotcha.
Some of them have they got a bit sprouty with some eyes, but that cuts right off. And I start slicing.
Cutting out eyes, that's what a doctor do.
Do you want to get a pot started? I believe there's the water there. Barrel. It might be a little stale, but you put enough onions and potatoes in there, nobody will tell the difference.
I can start that. And I may have something in my rations that could help flavor it a little bit. Anyway, try.
Peel the potatoes up, slice them.
And I'll get
Quick.
the pot going. And as I'm working, Doctor,
Yes.
are you aware that Bronlyn holds some ire for you at the moment?
Why does she have a ire that's anger or discontent or just
I think their ire is probably closer. Has to do with a certain flippancy you had toward Casimir, the last place we were.
well, I mean, like anybody else in that town, it was pretty flippant of us to just leave them.
Yes, but we couldn't have realistically saved them all, now could we have?
No, and I didn't expect us to. I just, we left them pretty easily.
Yes, but we didn't leave all. And the one that we saved, we have an obligation to her. When you develop an attachment to someone, as Bronlyn has to Casimir, they become more than just a thing you saved, more than just a pawn. It'd be as though trying to use a brother or a child, a loved one, as a bargaining chip. If you can imagine how that would feel, Doctor, I believe that is how Casimir feels. And be aware of that. We are not in a situation where we can so easily cast such things aside.
I wouldn't cast her aside.
What would you do?
Well, she's part of the team now, right? So,
Yes, a part of the team that Bronwyn sacrificed her soul for.
yeah, that was a very stand-up move for her. Them.
Make Bronwyn aware that you do not intend to view Casimir as expendable. Please.
Oh, you're talking about when I said she could stay with the demon, the devil lady. Elder something.
Lobo.
Yes, Elder Lobo. Well, yeah, that was probably a bit brash of me. She, Casimir, has been with us for a little bit of time. I probably could have worded that differently, I suppose. Didn't Bergain say much the same thing?
Not so much. Bergain seems to very easily take... Well, Bergain was the one who grabbed her in the first place, but he also is quick to see who needs care. Is quick to make those in his care part of his crew. He may have said something that was a bit blunt, but he wouldn't bargain or suggest leaving her, I think.
Well, in all intents and purposes, I fully planned on going back for her.
That's not the point. We're going to have to go back anyway. For Bronwyn's
Absolutely.
soul. Just, my point is, Doctor, we have precious little we are clinging to here.
That is true.
Try to be more sensitive to that. And please say something to Bronwyn. Please try not to make it worse, but please try to say something.
I think I get your meaning. I can reach out, connect, as it were.
All right. And I have other questions, but let's get this going a bit.
Certainly. Here's the onions, and the potatoes. What else? This needs something.
I'll get into some jerky that I probably have in my rations.
Back, I would say back above deck. I have definitely asked Bronwyn and Casimir to help me fish for a little bit. With using nets and such. Mostly because I have, one of my background features is that I can find food anywhere as long as there's some type of something edible and fresh water, but we're on the sea, so there's not fresh water. But I can find food for myself and up to 5 people each day.
Only 5?
Uh-oh.
Well, that's why
Good thing the doctor's vegetarian.
this is adding to the stew that they're already making.
Yeah, when you go to put the jerky in, I'm like, wait, just let's separate it into. Let me separate some into this little pot. And
I just skewer the fish and put it right over the fire. Just let it cook that way. I gut it, scale it, put it right over top so you can just eat it off the stick.
gonna say while you were fishing, Casimir sort of did a kind of a step back, backward step away, and started trying to pull out some of those feathers from one of the downed harpies, if it's still on deck. If we're holding on to these harpies for some reason.
I think Brigade was absent-minded enough to be like, "Oh yeah, there's a dead body here," and didn't realize, like, while fishing that
the casual step over every time.
Yeah, yep. Like after pulling it, like he definitely threw over the one that he pulled the feathers from, but I believe there was another one that he just kind of just like tossed it over. In fact, he used the body to try and catch some fish. That's what he threw over. He threw it over whatever came nibbling. He netted that.
But they're there too, though, right?
Yes, there should have been two.
So she's going to the other one.
Yeah, she's going to the other.
Yeah. I think what I'd do is I'd lock helm in place and see her like struggling with like trying to pull it out. And hold on. I do it like this. It's a twist and yank. And I'll like flip out one of my smaller daggers. And if you just brush it down like this, you come out like butter. Here, you try.
I'm attempting to watch her, and the dagger looks rather large in her hands at this point, but doesn't unsure, carve into.
Yeah. It'll take a minute. Just gotta get sure of yourself. And here, I'll pull, and you just slice. Yeah, like that.
So holding it in the other hand, trying to add more pressure to.
Like 5 classes by the time we're done.
You know
Garrett,
what?
keep. Oh, go ahead.
You hold on to that. I got plenty. And after helping her take out a few feathers, I'll head back up to the helm.
Kira, keep stirring.
Kind of holds it closed.
Go ahead.
She's like holding it close and does a little wave as you make your way back to the wheel. Then kind of goes back to the harpy.
I'll leave the kitchen with the galley and I'll head up to the stairs and just kind of peek up when I see Casimir walking across with the feathers in hand. I go, psst. Come here.
She kind of clutches the feathers and the knife away from the dock, but slowly steps closer.
I go back down the stairs. Come on, I got something.
I've seen this movie. I don't like it.
Again, there's the continual eye shift to the dagger, the feather, a couple steps, glance down, does a slow fall over.
Go back into the galley. I thought about what you said, Kira, and I have an idea. And Casimir comes in a few seconds later. Come here, child. Let me show you something. And I'll go over to my alchemy desk. Can I see one of those feathers? That should do. That'll do nicely.
Kind of shifts through the little handful of them, plucks out one in particular.
Is this the one you like the most?
Nods to.
I'll take it and I'll set it down on the desk and I'll start pulling some vials and stuff and like uncorking some things, swirling it around, pouring it on the feather. I keep looking back at Casimir as if I'm like gauging her.
She's definitely staring intently.
Okay, yes. Oh. Make yourself look as best as you like, like strong or ready for action, whatever. Give me a pose.
She's confused for a minute and kind of shoves the rest of the feathers, tucking it into her hair.
That's nice. Okay, yes.
And then just kind of clutches clutches the dagger as if it was a sword to swing.
Excellent. And I'll continue. I'll grab actually a few brushes and I'll work on the feather some more. Glance back, give her an eye. Okay, all right. There we go. And I'm going to do magical tinkering. I can imbue a tiny non-magical object with the magical properties of my choice. And one of those is going to be a static visual effect on the feather of Casimir in her pose on the feather. And so it's almost an exact replication of her on this feather. And I will look at it. Yeah. Here you go. And I give it to her. Why don't you give this to Bronlund so they can remember you for all times in where you are right now.
Very impressed.
That's what you look like. That's you.
Just kind of wanders towards the deck.
I come
She
back,
makes her
I
way.
take my apron off and come back and help continue to stir the soup. Like that?
It's a start.
I'll take it.
Eventually, I come down. Okay, I caught some fish. If anyone wants meat,
You can
No,
keep
they
it separate, but yes.
yes, I know they doctored them.
Give me a nature check on those fish.
Okay. Oh, God, they're undead, aren't they? This is how we find out that all the fish were dead.
You fished them out, they were already just skeletons.
Wait a
Didn't
second.
even notice. Nature, surprisingly, not a negative, but a +1. So I'm like,
They look normal to you.
yeah, that infused me with such.
They look normal.
They look like ichthyine creatures, I'm sure.
Hey, other people have them. They can do their own nature check.
I ate already, I'm fine. I don't know what you're all about.
I will look the fish over before I do anything with it.
Probably a smart move. Okay.
Give me. Are you gonna roll for?
If you'd like me to, sure.
If you want to.
That's what I was waiting on.
Nature,
Yes.
also an 11.
Yeah. They seem perfectly normal to you.
And this is raw fish at the moment, yes?
Yes, that's the
Okay, I'm gonna go about pan frying that thing.
Seeing that everyone's really interested in this fish, I'm just curious. We'll relock the helm in place. What are y'all gazing at? And I'm gonna look over the fish myself, and hopefully it's better.
It's like you got everybody paranoid.
That's gonna be 14 plus 2, 16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely appears to be a sea bass. All that were caught seem to be of that. On the grab, you notice there seems to be an odd bone protrusions along the belly in a couple spots. But other than this soft little thing, it seems perfectly normal.
So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to lay it on its side on the deck, and I'm going to use one of my knives to cut along the inseam of those bone protrusions to see what the origin of that is, what the purpose of those things might be. Because if
I
it could
think we're
cause...
down in the kitchen with this now.
Oh, I was talking about because
Yeah,
he
you
had put
are.
it all up on deck.
When he pulled it up on the deck from the water.
Okay.
Right.
As you go
Sorry, I was gonna, cause yeah, I definitely would have inspected the fish in this weird ass world before I brought it down. So, time is weird in D&D.
yes, I recall that you did. As you slice through the stern to dirt and open, there seems to be 6 little legs that briefly push out from the flesh where you cut, where those protrusions were. Just 6 little spindly legs just kind of twitch for a second and then stop. Everything else seems to be a perfectly normal fish. Perfectly normal.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Terrifying.
I wouldn't know enough about the fish itself in this alien world, but the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, this is parasitic in nature. Don't like it, and I'm going to skewer the side of the fish with my knife and take it down to the galley. You weren't planning on eating these, were you? As is?
Well, you're going to cook it.
No.
I was going to cook it.
Who was cleaning these things?
I hadn't got to do it yet. I'm assuming since Cora was the one that took it and started frying it, I would assume that she would have deboned it and all that stuff.
Apparently, I haven't yet.
Okay. This time is weird in D&D.
Time is weird.
I mean, I don't know.
But do I notice the legs immediately? Are they big enough for that? Like as soon as he comes in holding it?
I
Oh,
have them
yeah,
out in
it's-
front of me too.
What the fudging what was he said?
Never too late to become vegan.
Why does it have legs?
Why does it have legs?
They all have legs, and then I the other ones I bring out, I cut along the sides or whatever.
As there is that last gasp of life from the fish as you cut it down that area, the legs do again protrude and kind of snap motion. You don't know if it's just nerves, firing off.
Does it seem like it's reaching for me? Is that what it seems like?
It's hard to tell at this point if it's just a death rattle or if it was aggressive. It didn't seem as focused as an attack would generally be.
Okay, so potatoes and onions. Potatoes and onions.
And jerky, if you want it.
Let's get this off of here. Even the fish has to suck. Come on, man.
What are you doing with all those fish?
I throw them back.
Throwing them all back?
Yes.
All right.
I don't pick them up by hand. I start putting them back in the net just in case and just fling it out like a dusty sheet.
I see Bergane.
You notice the gunner looks very confused. The
What's
skeleton
what?
just kind of scratches at its bare skull, looking at you, then goes back to its work.
I just
I
give
also
the.
look visibly confused.
You don't want to know? I'm just going to tell you right now, brother. It was gross. Okay? It was gross. You'll thank us for this later.
Okay. Then what is for dinner then?
I believe mashed potatoes, fried potatoes, maybe some boiled potatoes.
Right, some form of potato. Okay.
Yes. No, mash them, boil them, stick them in a stew.
Right.
Okay. So I saw that Casimir has a knife now, so.
It,
Good.
what?
What? What?
What?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Did you say a knife?
Yeah, I'm probably going to teach you how to use it. You didn't know that I didn't point to the harpy that was blatantly being butchered by. I didn't do that. That was Casimir. Casimir was taking feathers.
Sent her off to look for bones, and she ends up with a knife.
How else do you get?
It's-
That's a knife is a good way to get bones.
At this point, Casimir is walking back up to Bronlin. She originally just shows them the feather that the doctor had created and imbued the image of herself in this feather. And then her
that's-
other. Good.
That's very nice. Did you do that?
No. Yeah. No.
What?
It was Doctor.
And as she says that, my face just like kind of changes. And then I look, and I assume she still has the knife in her hand.
The knife is tucked away on her hip. In her other hand is very stained red. You see a thin rib bone. And the bone.
I give a low 5.
It didn't come from any of these walking around skeletons, now did it? All right. Well, it did come from a skeleton. True to my word. Still teach you some magic. Regain, about how long do you think we have left?
Do you hear about how long do we?
I'd say it's been about an hour and a half. Time for them to get in the kitchen, do their thing, and the brief bout of fishing and the discovery of. I'd say hour and a half.
About 2 more hours.
Right, how about this, Casimir? It sounds like dinner should be done, some sort of potato. After you have some dinner and we wash up, I'll teach you a little bit of magic after that. An A+ for your creative thinking on getting a bone any way you knew how. That one definitely didn't know, because it's dead. A+ work.
Also, Casimir.
Sets the feather in one of your hands, and then kind of splops the the wet rib bone in the other hand.
Also,
I like
Casimir,
visibly like. Ugh.
if you ever want to learn to properly use, well, pretty much any weapon that ever existed, I can teach it to you. I think nothing towards the knife.
Hey, do you have the glaive on you at all times? Is that just a
The
fixture
glaive
on you?
Oh, the glaive is always there. I made the glaive. That's always with me.
She like points to the glaive.
You want to learn the glaive? Oh, this is not for you. And then I kind of point to where I put a gut rot and kind of wedged it between stuff so it couldn't fall over. I'm like, also not for you. That knife you have, that's good for you.
As Brigane says this, just like a huge, just like wave of relief that comes over my body, and you can just like see me more visually relaxed.
I then bring out the glaive and put it next to, and put it like right next to it. You wouldn't be able to even hold out both hands. And I spot her. I don't let it fully take her forward, but I just put enough of the weight of it on her.
Yeah, instantly those knees are buckling.
Yeah, not this one.
Looks back to her dagger, which is everything.
That's good for you. That's good for you at the moment. Your life is small. No one can see you. You can hand you can stab them right in the ankles and they double over. And you just stab. I look at Bron and I'm like, oh. And then you run away and find Bronland to be and sit. I don't care. You'll kill them, whatever. Let's go eat.
Tucks the dagger back into a sash wrapped around and races downstairs.
No one's missing you. Why you're right.
Kind of give Brigane just a little bit of a squinty eye for the last bit of that and start walking down to get some food as well.
Oh, She handles dangerous black powder, but give her a knife and oh, suddenly I'm not even the one that gave it to her. What? The right age to learn how to fight.
Right, how old were you when you learned how to fight, mate?
When I was able to walk.
Just like a disbelief, just all over my face. Kind of blink a couple times and then just keep walking.
What, is that weird? It's weird that you did it. If you did it. It's kind of, I grumble to myself as everyone's gone from the deck. It's like, whatever. Just finally head down there.
I think I would probably be passing them back on my way up to get back up to the helm, just to make sure that people could have their meal without having to rush it to get back up in time for docking. I would just make sure we got to the dock safe and then let them know so everyone could get off at their own pace.
So as you approach the island, who's out on deck right now? Is it
Might
just
just be me.
just
Yeah. And whatever other skeleton crew there is.
yeah, out there?
If we finished eating by the time we actually do start approaching, I would have been up on deck as well. If by the time we finish eating, it's around that time, I would have.
I guess how long are you going to savor your potato soup?
I eat it and go back to what I was doing. I go right back up on deck and pick up gut rot so it doesn't actually fall overboard and put it in a more secure place.
All right. I'm gonna say, given the meal you had, like I said, we had about an hour and a half time, so you could easily eat and enjoy yourself, and then come back to.
Yes.
I'd go back up also if that's all it takes.
I'll stay downstairs. Keep working.
I kind of just wait for Casimir to finish her food and ask her, right, do you want to steal in some magic?
Yes.
Ask fire or flame. Nope, that's the same thing. Fire or frost.
Fire.
Right, let's go up top then.
Okay.
You change fire to the powder. I love it.
Makes all sorts of sense to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I love it.
So when we get upstairs, or up onto the main deck, I sit her down and I kind of just start on a long speech about how everything kind of comes from within, and it comes from within, and you have to really put some passion into it. So what are you passionate about, Casimir?
I got my dagger and my feathers and all of you. That's yeah.
With that, you can see my lip kind of quiver just a little bit, like us. Right, so Casimir, I'm going to teach you how to create bonfire. So this is something that when you want to do it, whether we're out and I ask you to create a bonfire, or if you just want some fire, just think really hard of the things that make you happy. So whether that's your dagger or your feather or us, just think about that and just imagine all of that passion on a single spot on the floor. Can you do that?
She kind of plops down cross-legged and just kind of stares at the floor. You can see her like squinting, like trying to think really hard.
Right. It's okay. You can't get it exactly on the first time, but we're just going to keep trying this every day. And eventually there'll be a small patch of fire. And then eventually that patch of fire is going to get up to like Brigade sized. It's going to be huge. So don't tell him I said that. But we're going to practice this every day until you can get it. And then when you've mastered this one, we'll move on to a different spell.
Every day. Every day.
Every day.
Adjusts herself down and continues to, arms crosses, staring a hole into the floor.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So you stay here and practice this. But if you make it, just give me a shout. Because we don't want to burn the ship down.
Do I hear that last part?
You can see her kind of untuck the dagger and hold it out and like try to point fire at the deck. For those of you with your eyes towards the island.
Which would be Brigade, so you probably didn't hear that.
Yes, because eyes and ears are the same thing.
The first thing you notice is on glance from this direction, it seems like there's a lot of small ships, not necessarily on the docks themselves, but fairly close to. It looks, it looks to be rather populated as far as these tiny ships in the area.
Like a blockade formation?
It doesn't.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be a strong, defensive line. They all seem pretty close to shore from this angle that you can see.
From where we are, can I see if there are any crewmen on deck, alive or skeletal?
Give me your perception.
Okay, nice. Nope. You suck. As a natural note. 4.
4? The most you get is these are odd shapes for ships. There's even for a smaller one, there's not a lot to them on this glance.
These ships are weird.
They seem kind of boxy from here.
Well, I'm sure that I'm trying to navigate around them, so I'm gonna go ahead and give my perception a shot too, if that's all right.
Go for it.
Oh, I'm glad I got extras on top of that. Jesus. So in total, that is a 13, even with my +5 and plus D4.
All right. The ship has moved a bit closer as you're trying to line up towards the docks. At this point, Salem, you can see that these appear to be probably several dozen small rafts. They appear to have little buildings on them. They look kind of ramshackle. There's not a whole lot of elegance to most of them. But it appears like these just tiny rafts just anchored just offshore.
Kind of boathouse-esque.
Not on the dock themselves. They seem to be loose, away from.
Right. Like a
full
little
of
further
towers.
away. Yeah. Is there a clear path for me to navigate around them to the dock?
Absolutely. The dock seems to be cleared away of any of the...
Okay, all right. So trying to think. Half sail's still a bit too fast for bringing it into dock, but I don't want to go to oar speed. No, that is flag down the bosun.
Snaps to attention.
Pull in the sails. Pull out the oars. We're gonna carefully maneuver our way around this place. Considering what we've already come across, I don't want any surprises.
She taps her skeletal horn. Not to worry. This is a lovely place. Starts readying the oars.
I'm sure the last place was a lovely place too.
Wouldn't quite know.
And yeah, not changing too much, just directing them to pull us into the dock.
Yeah, you. I'll make you roll for it just for funsies.
Okay. There's specific.
We'll
skill
stick with
attached?
survival since that seems to be our.
It's a good catch-all.
Mhm.
Good thing. Good. I like that. Thank you. 14.
14. Yep, sure enough, you don't. It's there's a couple of those little bounces towards you, but you don't tear through the dock. You come to a reasonable place. It doesn't look like the end of Speed 2. You're not just mowing through.
It's not Jurassic Park-esque.
There we go.
Um,
That would have been a much cooler reference.
They both work. And I imagine as we're pulling alongside the dock, there's those bumps, and just it has been a while since I piloted a ship. We're fine.
You see
Doing a wonderful job.
the bosun and knives that are already thrown out. The rope and the ship's being set and brought to.
So, is there anyone to greet us at the dock?
There are definitely at least dock hands enough to get you fully into the dock and set and tied.
Again,
Okay.
back to my former question.
Please.
Are they alive or are they skeletons?
On this glance,
Yeah.
you
As
see
we're
two
pulling.
skeletons
Uh-huh.
and you see one human.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that one human is Calliope. Possibly. I don't know.
It's a good guess.
I blush a little bit.
The plank is dropped and kind of shoved onto, land on to give you a walkway.
I'll make my way down first. Meet one of the dock hands. Who's your Harbour Master?
The human seems to be a very weathered face. It's really at this point hard to judge. This could be some ancient old salt, or it could have been a very young man with a very hard life. But the big, thick beard covering most of the face helps hide what the tan and wrinkles doesn't. It'll be him right there. Juts a thumb over to the skeleton. Skeleton wearing reasonably nice attire. Close to form as it can.
Not quite form-fitting, right?
Not form-fitting, but close to form.
Does it have a powdered wig?
It doesn't, but it does have a nice flat cap. So it has,
Okay.
Gotcha.
I buy it as the Doc Master.
yeah. Pops open a little ledger and has a big thick pencil. Ship name.
Turn to regain.
Luz de Luna.
Did you give her the name?
Yes.
Good, good. She's been needed one for a while.
That's what I hear.
Captain's name.
Regain Stonebuilt.
Very good. Tears off this note and sends a copy to you and holds onto another strip for himself.
Yeah.
Welcome to Calliope's Regret.
I hope we don't regret coming here.
Well, just don't have too much fun. Yeah, certainly don't want to wake up here.
See, I knew that joke didn't work. That's why I brought in earlier about it.
Can I hear that?
You tell me.
Did you come off the ship with us?
Yeah.
I would say, much like myself, Regain does not whisper well because his voice is extremely deep. So you definitely pick up on bits and pieces. Like you definitely hear. I knew it wouldn't work. That's why I didn't want to. That's why I brought him earlier.
Under my breath, I mutter, that's just because you had poor delivery. God. I just kind of keep on walking.
They have a weird accent.
I
Oh,
look to the Harbour Master and I ask, why wouldn't we want to fall asleep here?
He looks your direction, sort of looking, presumably looking you over. Ah, hell, you're fresh faces, aren't you?
That's one way of putting it.
Bony fingers scratching at the back of the skull. I hate being the one to discuss this. Go. I'm not going to be the bearer of bad news. You go just up the main road. You go that path. You're gonna find a tavern. It's called the Dragon's Fifth Leg. You go in there. The barkeep will explain everything to you. But as it is, keep your eyes open. Keep awake.
Does that extend to can we still fall asleep on our ship?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Oh, so
Wouldn't
just
think any other way.
Okay.
As you mention it, that idea, you start to see on all these rafts that it does seem to be small, almost homes built upon.
Mm-hmm.
When I hear Dragon's Fifth Leg, I kind of give a chuckle. Yeah. Break out a smile.
looks up at you confused.
When you're older.
It's a story for a different day.
Kind of gives that side half pout of.
We all know that Regain's gonna totally tell them if they ask.
I think then we head towards the Dragon's Fifth Leg.
All right. You make your way to the dock, and I think we're gonna go ahead and stop here. Take 5, and then we'll see what awaits you at the Dragon's Fifth Leg.
Okay.
All right, we are back. I believe we have some announcements we got to rock out.
Yes, we do. Just a reminder, the Games Tavern Patreon. It's a great way to support the show and get useful perks and awesome content. The latest updates include early access to interviews from the Games Tavern Happy Hour, miniatures paint plans from That Mini's Paint Show, and battle maps and plugin encounters for your games. Just go to patreon.com/thegamestavern, all one word, and get your hands on this amazing content. Just a little shout out to some of our regular Patreon supporters: Veritas23, Rose, Mads Productions, Michael B, and Christopher D. Thank you for all your patronage and support. I think that's it, actually.
All right.
Looks like it.
You make your way down a reasonably typical oceanfront village at this point. Thank you. It seems to be coming towards dusk. You can see the sun. By the way, appreciation that you can see the sun again.
We love to see it.
I know you hadn't had much time to reflect and truly appreciate it, but the sun does seem to be setting, and you are seeing maybe a dozen or so seafaring-looking folk making their way towards the docks. You can see a couple of the dock hands with long hooked poles kind of pulling some of these raft huts closer up to the dock, and people kind of stepping onto before being, pushed off in a way.
I wonder if it's you can't sleep here or you shouldn't be here after dark.
Vicky specifically said don't sleep here.
Yeah, he did.
It does seem awfully specific.
Just because the brand said this. Well, it looks like they are kind of live out there on the water. So I think it's don't sleep on the land. Water's fine, but not on the land.
As you mentioned that, you do see, a couple of skeletons, propped up, having a conversation, down an alley with none of the momentum towards these docks.
What's
feel like we
around in the way of buildings? I know we're going toward a tavern, but what sort of populace are we looking at here?
I said most anybody that doesn't appear to be skeletal seems to be making their way towards there. But you do see, on closer inspection, a lot of the buildings seem to be ramshackle's too harsh of a term. Composited from various materials, I think would be a bit more of a kinder way to put it. A lot of the buildings look like they were probably at one time several ships that have been decommissioned and used as.
A lot
But-
of driftwood.
But presumably you would find a general selection of simple shops that you would on any small island town.
Quite an eclectic design scheme they got going on here.
Skeletons even have stuff that we would buy.
I mean, we're not going to find out unless we are going to one of those shops.
It's true.
I kind of walk towards the nearest one.
Bronlin. Maybe save the shops for the morning.
Right, okay.
The tavern, it's just that the Harbour Master said not sort to ask what's going on here.
the bad news, as it were.
Yes.
We'll get the story for tonight. We'll take our sleep and come back bright-eyed and bush-tailed. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Beeline for the tavern.
Yeah, sure
Yes.
enough. It is one of the larger buildings on the island. You do see a sign hanging, right above the door. This one says "The Dragon's Fifth Leg." Potentially a saucy little painting of a draconic figure.
Well, potentially or definitely. I need to know.
Well, it's more of a
Inquiring minds.
silhouette. So, it could be a tail.
Saucy.
Oh, that's what my shadow looks like.
I just usher Casimir inside.
That's right. Push the child further into this.
If anyone happens to look my way, there is some blushing going on. Even if I'm laughing a bit.
Why are you all giggling and acting weird over a penis? I mean,
You have to have been around a bit more, Doctor, to
Oh.
understand.
I've been around.
Not in years, places. Certain places.
Oh,
Never mind.
all right.
This is going to be a whole thing, isn't it?
Let's just head inside.
As you make your way through the heavy wooden door, you are greeted with music, which is a nice change of pace. Something you have not come across in, at the very least, several days. For some of you, probably much longer.
I don't know what you're talking about. I heard some beautiful music just a couple hours ago.
That is true. That is absolutely true. I stand corrected.
I mean, it's been literally a couple days, 2 days since I've been in a tavern. So yeah.
There is a humble band of skeletons on a makeshift stage. There is a squeeze box, being held, and just a bar and drum, just kind of rather soothing. It's not a heavy, intense song, but it's just a nice atmosphere, sway to the music. The tavern, just like the rest, seems to be assembled from various ships pieced together, the wood repurposed. One thing you will notice is a carving of a figure. She seems to be the carving is actually very nicely done. There's obviously care put into it, but it appears to be an elven or a half elven woman. Lovely features, a bit of a sharp face. In one hand, she seems to be clutching a lute. There's a long sword at her hip, and the other hand is giving the bird to whoever would face this carving head on. There's a bit of a smile to her face. It doesn't seem like it's entirely malicious as much as it is a more playful construction.
That Mona Lisa smirk.
Upon entering, is it again all skeletons? We just saw one single human on the dock. Is there smattering of different creatures?
There is. As far as in here, it's not heavily populated, but looking around, you're seeing about 3 skeletons, and you're seeing another couple humans in here.
As we're making our way to the table or the bar, whatever we're making, doctors, I'm talking to Kira, and so, for example, I was seeing this patient who he had a very bad bout of leprosy, And when he left, he said I could keep the tip.
Oh,
See?
I'm sorry for blowing out your
I've been around. I get it. It's penises are funny.
Not when you talk about them, Doctor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when you start talking about body parts, it just seems wrong on every level.
Oh, well,
I say you do get a chuckle from one of the skeletons that's back doors. Sort of.
that guy gets it.
You sound like Beavis.
It was.
As you approach the bar, you notice a large figure behind it. We'd appear to be a just nearly oversized dragonborn. Silvery pale, scale in the face. Just these giant arms kind of clutching at the bar, just doing the quick scan of this crew.
I
Not yes, sir.
immediately
Okay.
approached the gigantic dragonborn. Finally, someone of a regular size. Indeed. I just give him the full-blown predator.
Yeah. Like crackle of thunder when these two hands meet.
They're
Oh.
gonna bond over their muscles now.
We're arm wrestling immediately. It's
Yeah,
happening.
it sort of shifted into that high five, then drowned to hit the bar with a loud thud. Go ahead, give me athletics roll.
Thank
I
you.
want to see who wins.
Salem, I bet you I put 5 gold on Brigade.
24. Rolled a nat 18.
Nice.
I'll
You
put
instant-
a 8 to that.
there's a bit of a struggle, but you start taking the lead. You start bending this silvery scaled arm back. It's just about to reach the table. Go ahead and give me another roll.
Can I impose a disadvantage because I want to just go up and like start tickling his side?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh no, you don't.
Say
I
what we
cast.
couldn't.
I cast enhance ability on Brigade.
Does that give me advantage on the throw?
That gives you.
I rolled a 14.
Okay, sorry, guidance. That's not one I prepared today. So you get a +4.
Okay, so then a total of 18.
You start to lose your grip there.
Oh, this guy has.
There's a bit of a
stats.
slide. His elbow shifts and sort of plants harder into the bar. You can even hear this little bit of creak of the wood underneath the both of your arms.
I
As you're now,
immediately look directly at Salem. Just. I don't think Salem would have ever felt more in danger than in this moment. That he makes me lose
So
the speed of.
here's the thing. You'd think that. You'd think that.
Did you stealth away, you SOB?
No. He is right there. Because the thing is, if you take any time to start paying attention to him, that's less attention you have to your own battle. He's basketball, right? That's the game he's playing here.
Reminder: knock Salem out on the beach and see what happens when he goes to sleep.
I was actually going to say, I look at Salem and I say, if you don't stop, I'm going to put you to sleep.
I can see how that works.
Another athletics, I'm assuming.
when you're ready, yeah.
This is how we gain respect in this town. This is the right way to get information. Oh boy. Do I still get a +4? Or is it over now?
You can have it again.
It's like it's a cantrip. You can do it over and over again. I
yeah.
think.
That's a 19 then.
It was a nat 20. You see this glow in its eyes as it is just thrilled to have you here. And you just feel this just sudden pressure just building up.
I'm debating turning in the big game right now.
I stop at the nearest table and I just start making a drum roll.
You catch the attention of the skeleton band, and all of a sudden the bowling drum starts, in sync with your drumming. Your knuckle is just, half an inch from the bar table now. This is your last go.
That would be 25 total if I have another guidance, but without it, 21 total.
You have it.
Okay, 25 total.
I'm gonna say you respond in kind. I'm sure there's this flash in your eyes at this point.
Yep, he definitely sees a thunder and lightning in my eyes.
With the speed of that lightning crack, you shift and you bend and pull his hand to slam against the bar with a heavy crack.
Hold my hand out to save them.
Oh, I already had the coin in hand. Didn't expect to win. Just wanted to have my fun. And I handed it over.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Silver Tim, I'm mostly known as.
Rubbing, kind of flexing the hand a bit, then juts it out for a handshake.
I give him a red.
Clarification. You
I
said
give him-
Silver Tim?
That's what I heard.
There are some who call
Tim.
him Tim.
Yes.
I then give him the warrior handshake.
Yeah. Get, excited again by this grab. You just see him throw his head back. You just see this frost come off, just sort of spike into, the ceiling above him.
Well,
It's a
Look
pleasure
down
to
at
meet you. I am Brigadier Stonebit.
It's a shame to see you here, but I'm glad.
That brings up a lot of questions, actually, and I'm probably going to leave that to someone who's better at talking to me. Why is it a shame for us to be here?
Welcome to the shitty afterlife that is the Fiddler's Green.
I'm sorry, you said the afterlife.
I
Would you mind expanding on that a little bit?
didn't think I'd have to. Aren't you all pirates? Surely you'd know what afterlife awaited you.
Does the term Fiddler's Green mean anything to Brigade?
I'm gonna say it definitely does. A lot of sailors and pirates in particular refer to as the afterlife as where they would go as the Fiddler's Green. Some believed it to be a paradise. Others believed it would be a punishment for their past sins. But it was a fairly common belief that it was the afterlife.
I don't bring that up now, but I will bring it up later. Oh, so this is the get the screen, you say. Were you a pirate?
Of course I was. Silver Tim.
He states the name as if you should know.
Wait, you're that Silver Tip.
The one and true.
Oh my gods. It is an absolute pleasure to see you. I should definitely be rolling deception. I definitely should. I'm just going to do it. Good thing I have advantage on these. Oh, that was a nat 16. We'll go with the nat 16.
All right. The big toothy grin on his maw never leaves. So much so you can even see that some of the teeth are capped gold towards the back of the grin.
What are you serving today?
Only the finest of the island. You sit tight, crew. We'll have a time to talk. Sit, enjoy.
Okay. I then immediately turn around and just go, okay. Apparently, we are in pirate heaven, or pirate hell, depending on which way you want to look at it. Yeah, that is what the Fiddler's Green is.
You don't think that we
died?
actually died?
I doubt it.
I hope these poor souls are just trapped here and they think they've died.
The skeletons like that.
Well,
If I may, the obvious seems to escape us. Brahman, you have distant relations to literal hell, where folks go when they die. A bridge towards the afterlife hardly seems out of place. We just seem to have found ourselves in a separate location thereof. These folks may actually be dead. As for us, hard to say. Though, I'd rather try to find what we came here to find and be out as soon as possible. Don't want to go catching any of that death on around here.
I agree.
Just glad that no one I actually know would be here.
We're not dead.
No.
It's it's an interesting thing that we might be somewhere that certain souls end up when they do pass. Because we went through the mists, has some interesting implications for where we could end up later.
Well, we should also probably keep an eye out for the actual beasts. That was the way we had to travel, right? It had to be the beasts.
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We came here to find a toad.
Yes, but
And if we don't find it, ain't no point in us even being here in the first place.
yes, but I remember something and I was talking.
As you discuss, a skeleton walks by with the tray and sets down giant mugs in front of each one of you. And you see its head kind of do a little lean like that.
Does it smell nasty? Like decay or anything?
Give me a perception.
Could it be like the Feywild where we drink or eat anything, we have to stay forever?
I was just thinking Lotus Leaders from the Odyssey.
18.
18. As you bring this mug close into a deep breath, it smells fine. It smells alcoholic. There's a pungent, almost rum scent to it, where it's a bit dark and spiced. And on inspection, you can see that there seems to be fruit just kind of floating.
I
But
keep
it
it.
smells pleasant.
I keep it in my hand and I call out. Yeah. What is this exactly?
It's the finest grog.
I kind of look towards Brigane, like, fuck is grog?
You ever had alcohol before?
Yeah.
Think of it like at the end of the night, when there's just a bunch of different little bit of alcohol left over, you just put that all in a cup. That is what grog is. It's just like everything else that you have.
Yeah.
Think it all together.
Take a look at it and I sit it back down on the table.
Probably a wise choice for you. You seem like you might be a bit of a lightweight. You're young. You're young. You'll get there.
As you look over your drinks, the giant dragonborn just kind of comes around the bar, grabs a chair over, and just drops his big form. Kind of makes his setting at the table near you. His own big mug, appearing to be of probably pewter, in his hand. And does a nice draw from.
So you're new here. I know you must have a lot of questions.
Yes. Maybe.
I'll let you ask them before I start throwing all the answers out.
Yeah. Why can't we sleep here?
He juts a clawed thumb towards one of the skeletons at the stage playing.
Sleeping on land does that to you.
Not
Something
not
is-
here.
Something cursed about the land. I was just lucky enough to meet the right people at the right time.
Interesting. Thank you. That's what I needed to know.
What makes you so sure this is the Fiddler's Green?
Glances around the room.
Besides the, you know.
Dead.
Bunch of dead pirates? I can't imagine many other places it would be.
How did you end up here?
Well, a long time ago, I had my final ride. Mid-battle, I was about to take a cannonball straight to the chops. Woke up here. Didn't take much math to put the two together.
Before you took the cannonball, did you become wrapped in black shadow?
Yeah, down the tunnel. Went all dark. Then I was here.
Okay. That lets me know several things. Anyone else have questions?
When you showed up here, did you land onto a boat and with a crew that was already there?
Not so much luck.
How was your landing?
Straight into the water.
Yeah,
I have another. Any deities around here?
Yeah, gives a kind of a spit towards the ground. You can just see it ice, crystallize as it does.
Not so much. A lot of the desperate ones. They built a temple just a ways away in the Roost.
Yeah, we would.
They're pleading to a goddess of death that she'll end their time here.
Fair point, not super surprising. Sailors are a superstitious lot.
Kind of pipe up and ask, wouldn't the deity, whoever, that wouldn't happen to be Calliope? Would it?
No, not the Roost. Calliope was, she was something. Finer pirate you'd never seen. Her curse words were spun like silk. Oh, she could say the nastiest thing about your mother, and you would thank her and ask her for more.
It happens to be here, right there. And I kind of point towards the statue.
He nods and looks over at it with a bit of admiration.
Some
That is
fine
your-
work I did there. I think I captured her pretty well.
That was you.
Hmm.
It's beautiful.
One has a lot of time on their hands here. You'd be amazed the skills you're going to learn.
How long would you say you have been here, Scriver?
Hard to say. Sometimes it feels like just a couple days. Sometimes I feel like it's always been.
What if I told you that you were not dead?
I'd wonder why you were trying to play a joke on old Silver Tim.
I'll play no joke. The way you said you appeared here is the exact same way that I appeared somewhere else that was not here. I was wrapped in shadow, pulled through a tunnel, and I walk around these people, but it was not here. So I think that maybe something up there just wanted you to be here.
Give me a persuasion.
Flat 10. Plus 0 to persuasion.
You see the grin leave the face just a little bit. And the giant clawed hand reaches over and grips at your massive shoulder.
Look, I know this is hard to accept. The afterlife isn't what I thought it would be. It's not what any of us thought it would be. A lot are in denial, just like the ones at the roost. They think they can pray their way out. You'll come to terms with it.
I'm sure I could not convince you to perhaps search for a way out.
I've seen a lot of a Fiddler's Green. I've done lots of travel. I don't know how far, how long. Again, it seems to change on you. But I haven't seen any sign of getting out.
If we do find a way, would you be interested in going?
You'd not just be trying to get an old dragon's hopes up.
No. I have no plans on staying here, and I doubt any of my crew do either.
If you have some way to twist fate, then, of course.
Tell me, Silva. Do you own this building, or you married? Do you wish to stay here? Because we could always use another crew to find a way out. You seem very strong.
He shifts a bit. Kind of looks over to the other people in the bar. And just this shout, this Arctic cold behind it.
Rats, get the hell out!
And everyone kind of shifts to attention and just makes their way out the exit.
All right, we're closed.
What else can you tell us about this place? The entirety of it, since you have traveled so far.
Well, let's see. You don't travel north.
I heard there is someone known as the Huntsman up there.
That would be why you don't travel north.
Is it a creature or a sheep?
Yes.
Hmm.
Or that. Who wants to put money down that we're going to have to go north at some point?
Tell me, Silver. Do you know of any static mist or fog? Like if you sail too far one way, is there fog or?
It comes and it goes.
What about those who choose to pray at the roost?
Delusional fools, if you ask me. Ain't no goddess listening.
Who is it they think they pray to?
Raven, queen, raven lady, something.
Hmm.
Someone to stay away from, Laura.
I know who she is. We can talk about that later.
And I find myself knowing that we're going to have to go back to the roost. I knew as soon as the harpies tried to attack us, we were going to have to go there.
You
But
got
I'm Scaly
some
friend.
praying to do there?
No, we've got some searching to do there.
My fine scaly friend. I wonder, with all the time that you've spent here, if you haven't seen certain objects pass through. Perhaps one's looking similar to this, and I pull out one of the trinkets to show him. Similar in size, potentially different shape, but components all the same.
You'll forgive me, but not that I would have paid attention to. It's fine you have the thing you like to collect, but that's a bit simple. What does it do?
A very special set. Suffice it to say, having the entire collection is of great interest to me and my colleagues. But I wouldn't suppose something of such a bland nature would ever catch your eye, and I do apologize. One last thing to show you, maybe something a little more unique. And I furbish the ticket to Carnival. Have you ever seen more of these?
He looks on it. And taps a nail against one of his teeth, one of the gold ones.
Yeah, that does look kind of familiar. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, the circus don't come around these islands.
Imagine that would be rather difficult.
Or do you mean just not anymore?
Not that I've seen here. I don't
see, but you've seen the tickets before.
Before I died, I came here. Sure.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to ask the entire group. It seems pretty obvious that we have to go back to the roost, right?
Right.
We could go north and take on this hunter.
I would much rather search for the trinket than sail into unknown waters in an unknown world, where even those who believe that they are dead would not go.
I think I can help you with the unknown part of this world.
Oh, okay.
I think I know where you can find a suitable map.
Yes.
Where?
Up north. It's one of the hunters' little keeps, as we're hulk, as they're called. Ships that are gutted and repurposed as a floating prison.
I'm for that. Let's do that.
Not going anywhere. Anyone else?
Seems fine to me.
I do want that this time we leave the child aboard the ship, perhaps.
When we get there.
Yes, when we get there.
Yeah.
Yes. Silva, would you like to come along?
Yeah. It would be good to stretch. It's
Do
been a long time, I think.
you have any weapons?
Yeah, I'll make do.
Okay.
But are we doing this now or in the morning?
I
It'd be
think we
good to
should,
get some sleep first.
we should probably. Well, we're going to have to sleep on the ship anyway.
Yes.
But we also need some supplies. So
That's all things we can settle in the morning if we're sleeping
Yeah.
on the ship. Silva, do you have a place to sleep offshore, or would you like to become familiar with our ship?
I'll take one last night and my home proffer. Get things ready for the trip.
Okay. Cannot miss our ship. It's the Luz de Luna. It's currently docked. See you in the morning, my friend.
Farewell, friend. Captain.
Clutches your hand.
Welcome aboard.
all right, let's go.
When we exit, what is it? Still just the sun's just now going down?
Yeah, you're right before twilight at this point.
Okay. If we're not doing anything else, then we head back to the ship. Before I go to bed, I stay out just long enough to see if there's actually like a moon on this freaking world, or if it's just pitch black like the other place was.
Oh, I am there for that also.
As the two. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say, in terms of like sleeping, I'm probably gonna be up in the crow's nest. So if that's what we're seeing, I'm probably gonna be present to see it. Not that I'm looking specifically for it, but
Seeing that Brigane is taking his time on the deck, I'm
There you
going to
go.
make
Take
my
the
way to the
captain's
captain's quarter. Yeah. And, snuggle up.
You realize if I can't find a bed big enough for me, I will be in there.
That's fine. We can be snuggle buddies.
Oh, you think you're staying on the bed? Oh.
I'm going to the galley and breaking some things. Just breaking anything breakable I can grab.
What the hell is going on down there?
someone's making a racket.
I'll check in a bit.
Does the moon ever come out?
It does.
Is it just one?
It is just one.
Okay.
It as far as you can tell, it's that moon you've been familiar with your entire life. It feels right.
Cora's there with me. I go, just in case we did not see before. It was the reason I named the ship what I named it. You seemed very sad, so I thought it would cheer you up.
Thank you, Brigane.
You're welcome.
I look up at Brigane, and you will see there are some tears. As I am just that relieved to see her again.
Comforting hand on the shoulder.
It's probably both shoulders, let's be honest.
Hand's not that big. Eventually I make my way down to the captain's quarters.
Middle of the bed, starfished out. Casimir's to the side. I'm assuming she's also starfished out. Loud snoring on my end.
Just say there's the loose clutch of the dagger on the bed.
She'll stab you.
I lean up against the wall. Actually, I go somewhere. I go to another room and just lean up against the wall because I know there's no hammock that's going to hold me. I just lean against the wall with my glaive over my lap and just sleep like that. Laid down, feet out, just head against the wall.
I think on this nice and very few and far between restful moments, we'll stop right about here.
Got a new crew member, baby.
Yeah, leave it there before Kura goes to the galley.
Someone's gonna ruin this moment.
All right. Who wants to start us off with our post-show announcements?
All right. It's going to be me. So don't forget to subscribe to the Games Tavern YouTube channel right now. Subscribing's free, and that way you don't miss any of the action, access to additional content that we make here on the show. Your likes and positive comments on the videos help our other adventurers find out about the shows that we create here.
Also, you want to join our friends over at Dirty Deeds. They were on Mondays, but I believe they've moved to Wednesdays at 7.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make that adjustment. So tune in. They were Mondays. Now they're Wednesdays. So tomorrow they should be there. Dirty Deeds, our friends over there. They're a great cast as they explore the world of Eberron. Their company is called the Fallen Star Company, and they've managed to remove the anti-magic devices scattered around New Sire and now face off against the Cult of Mordain to put an end to the bloodshed. Check them out. They're good.
Do you think the Fallen Star Company and Starfall is related?
I do like the multiverse.
Multiverse. It's
Well,
happening.
maybe
out
I
there.
know.
Crossover.
We'll go head to head.
Another thing to go check out, go visit dndbeyond.com. Always worth it. Go check out their amazing collection of stuff, their character sheets, their counter builders, all the digital resources.
And while you're checking them out, you can also check out the cast. Me specifically, I'm Jess. I play the tiefling druid Bronlyn. You can find me on Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter at Jess the Human. That's JESTHEHUMAN. I stream on Twitch Mondays through Fridays at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. And I am going to popcorn it over to Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm on. I was playing the Doctor tonight, the Elven Alchemist Artificer, and you can find me on Twitch and Twitter and all the Facebook and all that stuff down at below there. It's at Matt Fellman. My DMs are always open, so if you ever need to talk to somebody, I'm always around.
Oh, way too much freedom.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
And I popcorn it to. I popcorn it over to Laura.
All right. I'm Laura. I played Kura, and you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Laura Perard, like it says on my little card down below. My name is squished together. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at Laura_Perard. And I'll popcorn to Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Kyle K. Tonight, I was Salem Klein, resident human rogue. Let's see. I will popcorn this over to Bran.
I didn't think you had many more options.
50-50.
Hi, I'm Bran. You can find me at Voice of Bran on Twitter. And you can also find me at Spirit O' the Wild, so you can know what I do when I am not here having a blast with these lovely people. Popcorn over to a Daryl.
Hi, I've been here the whole time. I'm Daryl Dorsey. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr_Daryl Dorsey, as well as here on Twitch. I do not have as tight a schedule as Jess does, but you can find me at Daryl Sucks at Gaming whenever I feel like streaming.
And his DMs are always open.
And my DMs are definitely sometimes maybe open. I don't know, because I definitely have quite a few things where you have to ask my permission even to message me. And also tonight, I was playing your resident Goliath Rune Knight fighter, Regain Stonebit. And give a shout out to Noah, who got it all together.
Noah.
Yes.
Was battling the tech goblins.
Oh, it was a
very
fierce battle.
valiantly.
Noah, where's your joke?
Noah's still fighting a goblin.
I assume Noah's just like, neck deep into wires and cords, like banging on like 5 different keyboards. Just
get out. Just get off the show to sign off.
We also want to give a quick little shout out to TTRPG Academy. Thank you so much for the
Wow.
raid.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it, friends. Who wants to give just like a super brief overview of our campaign so far?
I think Jess
Oh.
wanted to, right?
Okay, so we're 5 strangers and we come from different lands, but the mist pulls us in and plops us into this place, and there are ghasts and they fight us and we run and we find the town, and eventually we kind of help destroy the town. We didn't mean to, but it happened. And we're just really trying to find some tokens to help us get home. My character, Bronlyn, had to give up their soul as insurance to a devil. It was not fun. But y'all should definitely follow the Games Tavern right here on Twitch. We stream this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m. Eastern for me.
Ooh. So yeah, that was a
La-di-da.
super duper brief one. But that's
All
that.
showed up right at the end, so
Yeah. Sorry.
But thank you still.
I love y'all coming by.
Hopefully we see you back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also find us on Twitter to get to know the cast members and the characters, and just in general the show at The Mist RPG on Twitter. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you all back next week.
Yes, play us off, Noah.
see you.